Yeah.
For the general conference, and then we can.
Then that's lunch.
And then we can.
That's early dinner, you mean?
2:30.
Okay, we're going fast. Mr. Gilliam, I would like to talk with you about failure, about chaos.
I'm an expert on failure.
I know you are. And my question is, what's failure for you? What's chaos for you? All of your movies have a bit or a lot amount of those ingredients.
I know.
What have you learned about
Well,
it?
failure is a very useful thing because we seem to live in a world where everything is supposed to be success. Everything is measured by success. I think we ought to start measuring things by failure or how often you haven't failed. Might be a better way of measuring things. No, failure is just, I mean, each time I don't get to do what I want to do, that's a mini failure. And at a certain point, you know, it's fun to be battling the potential of failure. At other points, you just get tired. I'm moving into the tired side at the moment.
Have you ever faced, I don't know, doubt in some movie where things go very, very bad? Did you say, oh, I'm gonna quit? Maybe in the beginning.
No, I don't. It's I mean, the closest I came to that, I suppose, when Heath died in Parnassus. I just wanted to quit. I just didn't want to continue because. But then that's why I surround myself with really good people who don't listen to what I say and they force me to keep working. So that's the trick. Is all filmmakers should understand this, that you have to be surrounded by people who push you because I'm full of doubts all the time. I'm never certain about anything. I just feel my way, and then in a sense, the great thing about films is that even when you fail when you're shooting, you don't get what you wanted. You then have a long period in the editing room when you can sort of salvage the failures.
Yeah. Where movies are done in the editing.
Yeah, I know, and that's what I love about it, because I make so many mistakes, so many stupid things happen, and then and that's why, in some ways, that's when the movie is actually being finally written, because you're changing things. I'm moving scenes around the place. I'm pulling this and doing all sorts of things.
It's very well known, the episode of Brazil, the battle for Brazil.
Yeah.
Do you think that right now the things are different? I mean, Hollywood is more. I don't know how to say.
I don't think it is different. I mean, I think we were lucky we pulled something off because it was partly out of naivete, of just being naive. I didn't have a Hollywood agent. I didn't have any of that stuff. So I just went in and said, "Fuck you. We're not going to do this way." And I just think so many people I know are so frightened now. They're nervous. They don't want to they wouldn't have a fight like that. They would avoid it.
Yeah.
And that's just the nature of things at the moment. I mean, it was like that then, but and it's very seldom that people do a public battle with the studios. Most of the battles are done behind the scenes. And so they end up not being battles, they become compromises. So everything weakens. So, I was lucky because I was lucky also because I grew up in Los Angeles, wanting to be a film director and hating Hollywood. So I had a lot of anger about Hollywood. So my attitude was, okay, fuck you. We're gonna have some fun here.
Good. Now we were talking about Parnassus. I remember in that movie, everybody was saying that you were Parnassus, and the question is, which of your characters do you think it's more like Terry Gilliam?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, my problem is I really like all the characters in my films, so there's a little bit of me in every one of them, and I'd rather hide behind many of them rather than admit that I'm one of them. But I've noticed recently, when I look in the mirror, there's a red mark on my forehead that seems to become more and more prominent, so I don't know if that's saying anything.
When I was a kid, my father gave me a movie, my first movie, and it was Brazil.
What a wonderful father you had.
Thank you. On a VHS, not an original copy. What do you think, and that was my first movie. What do you think?
How old were you?
I am 34.
So what is that? We made it in 84, 85, you probably saw it. So that's how many years ago? 25 years ago? It's 25 years.
Yeah.
So you were very young when you saw that then?
Yeah.
Like 9?
Yeah.
That must have been terrifying, horrible.
That's my question. My question comes from that. What do you think is the first movie a child, I love your movies of
Yeah.
course, a child should see? What's the first?
Of mine?
Yeah, I want to.
I'd say Time Bandits or Munchausen probably are the two.
That was the second one for me.
Yeah. Now those are the ones. I mean, Time Bandits has always been for children, and I think Munchausen has always worked for children. So those are the good ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. Parnassus actually. I mean, we had with Parnassus. I think the youngest was about 7 who saw it and loved it. There's a strange thing that happens with, I think, Munchausen, Parnassus, and Time Bandits. They're all similar because the professionals think they're for an older audience. They don't understand that children understand those movies completely and utterly. And they always advised me against movies that would reach so many different kinds of ages. And I love the fact that some of those movies work from 7 to 70 or 80. That's fantastic.
Childhood is a very recurrent theme
Yeah.
in your movies. How was how was your childhood?
Wonderful, really nice. We lived in the country. It was kind of like Tom Sawyer, I suppose. 'Cause, yeah, it was-
Facing the fans.
yeah, I know. Yeah. Because we had, I mean, behind the house there was a forest. There was a swamp across the street. It was a cornfield about half a mile away. There was a lake. You know, it was like, it was great. It was, you know, I loved it. And my parents were great, really supportive. I mean, I used to blame them because I said, how can I be an artist? I wasn't born poor. I wasn't crippled. I wasn't, you know, a minority. I didn't understand how I had a chance to become an artist.
You did it very well. Okay, it's over.